This is Kevin, Gamertag Magil. I'm bringing you part 19 of my Stuntman Ignition Let's Play, and I'm in the second scene of Never Say Never, and I get to use the James Bond-esque car that you get in this one. And in these ones, you'll notice there's a lot of using the action button to blow stuff up, because blowing stuff up is cool. In this one, it's just getting the beginning down. That's really the what's tough in a lot of the James Bond ones, for me at least, is that the beginnings of these can be kind of tricky, and especially like once you start blowing stuff up, there's just lots of debris coming in around you, and it's hard to really focus on what's coming next, where you're supposed to go, and just what you're supposed to do. There I'd go out of the shot because I was following the car like I think I'm supposed to, but every once in a while they just want you to go a little off course to follow that. So it's just stuff like that you kind of got to figure out and remember. And the tough part is remembering once you get farther on in that, and then you mess up early, or you mess up later on in the stunt, and then you got to do everything over again. You still have to remember every aspect of that. And every once in a while I'm trying to go close to stuff to keep streaks going. There I took that turn really weird because, like last time, the way I did it normally felt right, but it's what took me way too sharp, and I wasn't where I wanted to be, and just was completely out of space. So they're trying to take it as a little bit longer. I was really out of sync on where I was supposed to be, and just didn't feel natural at all. But you know, it's just one thing. After you do it a couple of times, you kind of get the feel for it and figure out what you're doing. You saw me fail the Taurus Award stunt thing, but I'm probably going to mess up enough that I have to redo it because I know I end up getting it. I think that might be the first time I've ever gotten that one. They do that to me, or especially in this Bond one, there's quite a few of them where they want you to go up on two wheels, which I have almost always sucked at. But for some reason doing this, or at least this run through, I managed to do it fairly well, or at least well enough to get the stunt awards that I needed to and had never gotten before, so that always felt good. Here they're giving me tricky 180s, and my thought process is always to turn left, and there when I have that narrow amount of space, I don't have the room to go left, and I was on the wrong side to try and do that. Okay, there I find watching this for the first time is where I finally see where that thing, the two-wheel ramp is. Even one, like, every once in a while when I'm playing this game, I can't find the two-wheel ramps, which I think is probably part of the reason I have trouble with two-wheeling. But I just can't find those things, and every once in a while I'm just sitting there going, I know I was sitting there yelling at the game, like, where the fuck am I even supposed to get popped up onto two wheels? And it's just weird how you can notice those things so much easier when you're not actually trying to. Well, it's not really weird. I guess it makes sense. That it's just so much easier to see those things when you're not playing. And it's actually one of the things I like about recording gameplays. It's kind of cool to see yourself play. One of the things I always wanted to do was to here I get that two-wheel awesome, which is actually an awesome stunt because there that missile goes underneath you as well. But I always wanted to record myself playing Guitar Hero and actually like record what I'm doing as well, not just what's going on the screen, because it seems like what I'm doing is insane. Like, I'm not even that good at the game. Like, I can do Get It Hard, and I just want to see what it looks like to me playing the game. And I can watch other people play, but I was like, I want to see what I look like playing this game. But I haven't actually bought a real camera, so I can't do that yet. But it's one of those things where it's just really fun to watch yourself playing video games and see what you can do. So yeah, each time you can see there's just a little bit of mistakes there, like that. I took that one corner wide and it slowed me down, like, and then I was falling behind the lead car, and then every mistake I make just piles up on that time you're behind them and just stops you from being able to pull it off, which is what's the trickiest part of these follow missions, is that any mistake you make is really going to hurt you. So I talked about how all the Bond movies are on ice. This one's not too bad. It's just got a little bit of snow-covered roads. Nowhere near as slippery and slickery as they're going to get in some of the videos coming up. And I was really excited about how well I played the Bond games, or the Bond scenes. And I talk about that, and they're not awesome. I mean, they're good for me, and there's a couple where I do really well. But once we get to like the Batman ones, they're way easier for me, and there's just some where I can, like those ones I can pass. I think there's a couple where I pass without ever failing and just going right through it and just really doing well, like by any definition. Whereas with all these James Bond ones, they're more of the learning process ones where I have to figure out what's going on, and everything's so precise and tight that it's a little tricky to make work. And there's, you know, especially the ice definitely adds to that, and that's part of the factors, but there's just a lot of stunts going on in this one that you have to be aware of and be precise with. Whereas the Batman ones, there's a lot of stuff that happens around you. You just got to be near there, and you know, it's just scenes where stuff's happening. You got to be there. While these ones are, you kind of have to make stuff happen. So there, it's not the prettiest run. I think I'm almost done. There's some mistakes, and that's kind of the way I play the James Bond ones. Is there's mistakes, but I get the stuff done. As you can see, the score is over 500,000, which it always sounds impressive. I think I did pretty sweet on this one. There was a lot of mistakes, but the score is pretty high, so even when you make a lot of those mistakes, I had like 4 X's on the director's stunts, I still can pull off 4 stars, which I think is pretty cool on this game, where if you just have enough stuff strung together, it kind of makes up for when you do make those mistakes that kind of cost you. So I'll have the next scene up in the next couple of days, and there's a lot of frustrating driving for me that requires pinpoint precision, but once I get that kind of stuff down, a couple of them turn out really well, and some of the best runs I've ever had on these scenes.